Hi, everyone, and welcome. And we're really glad to see that people are participating in the open house in all sorts of different ways. I just happened to see that Craig Udale and Gary Torville are on the video box, and I wondered if they wanted to send some greetings. I know they have many different programs that they need to visit, and so I'll give them the floor right now to say their greetings and welcome you.
All right, thanks, Amy. As you can see, Gary and I are here on campus. We have actually some culinary students working on some skills today. And of course, we're here to talk to everyone for our open house. We wish, my name is Craig Udell. I'm the Dean of the Canadian Food and Wine Institute. And Gary, I'll let Gary introduce himself.
Hi, everyone. Gary Torville, the Associate Dean for the Canadian Food and Wine Institute. And we are really looking forward and anxious for you to hear more from Dr. Amy Prue about the program and share more of the details of what makes it such a unique program in Canada, quite honestly, and one of the crowning jewels of the Canadian Food and Wine Institute. So I know you're going to learn a lot today from Amy about the program, and please make sure you ask lots of questions. That's what we're really here for today, is to make sure you get all the information that you need to make a really good informed choice about where you want to study and what you want to do as a career. So my thanks to you all for being here.
Take care, everyone, and stay safe. We, of course, we wish you could have been here in person. Normally on this particular day, the halls here are crazy with so many people checking out our great, fantastic facilities. And hopefully very soon you'll be able to do that. But I also want to echo that you will be able to be here on campus in the fall. So certainly a portion of your learning will be here with hands-on and practically working with Dr. Amy and the rest of our faculty and staff, whether it's in the science lab or in the kitchen. So we look forward to seeing you and learning more about our culinary innovation program. So take care, and we're off to Brewmaster.
Thank you very much, gentlemen. Have a great day.
All right, take care.
Thank you.
Take care.
Bye, Amy.
Hi, thanks. All right, so thanks to Craig and Gary for a warm introduction. I'm going to jump in and tell you a little bit about our Culinary Innovation and Food Technology program at Niagara College. And so yes, thanks to Ian and everyone for the welcome. My name is Dr. Amy Prue, and I am the academic program coordinator for the Culinary Innovation and Food Technology program. And I actually was the very first professor who joined the program and helped design the curriculum. We took a lot of time taking the time to listen to the industry, because here in Canada, the food manufacturing industry is our largest manufacturing sector. What's really fascinating is that there is a labor shortage. We can't find enough good people with really good skills. And that perhaps is a really good benefit for you wanting to take part in this industry. It is big, it can take you around the world. And right now we have an acute labor shortage. We need highly trained people who are going to step into those leadership roles. And we have a proven track record of fulfilling that through our graduates. So let's jump in and tell you a little bit about our program. So I'm going to start you with a quiz, because yes, I'm always going to be a teacher. Let's jump into our quiz. So in 1 week, I realize these are numbers from pre-COVID, but I always ask this question of our group: how many meals? Jump ahead, Ian. How often do you eat out at a restaurant? And I tease my colleagues in culinary, because our culinary sector is a really important sector as well. But if you really think about it, how often do you eat out in a restaurant versus eating out at home? Right now in COVID, you're eating at home almost all of the time. And during normal time, jump ahead, Ian. How often do you prepare your own meals? Well, if you really think about it, so many times when I'm asked, what does a food scientist do? Is it just another form of chef? Well, we are food professionals, but we are focused on those food products that you're preparing at home, what we call consumer packaged goods, the stuff that you buy at grocery stores. What's been really fascinating about this period of COVID, while the restaurant sector has been pivoting, the consumer packaged goods sector has really boomed, because we're preparing almost all of our own meals at home. Jump ahead, Ian, and let's see how often. In pre-COVID numbers, the average North American is preparing 17 out of 21 meals at home with food from grocery stores. And if you really think about that, as important as the restaurant sector is, the grocery sector And all of those food products is really how most of us are eating on a daily basis. And behind every single product that we see in the grocery store, there are people, potentially you, who are going to be those leaders who are developing those food products. So the average Canadian household spends about $8,500 on food. That the numbers here are from 2017, and about 70% of that is on traditional groceries, while 30% is on restaurant meals. Again, who makes your food? It is food scientists. And while many of our food scientists have allied chef skills, we bring together a whole lot of different skills to be able to make those food products that end up on the grocery store shelves. So just some quick frontline food facts from our friends at Food and Beverage Ontario. Right now in Ontario, about 120,000 people are employed in food and beverage manufacturing industries. Now, this is different than the numbers from the restaurant sector. We've got about 3,800 businesses, and it just happens that the GTA and the Golden Horseshoe, which is partly Niagara, has the bulk of those industries. And so the employment opportunity is enormous. Toronto is, it bounces back and forth as the second largest cluster of food manufacturing companies in the entirety of North America, with Chicago being the largest. And honestly, the sheer number of employment opportunities are just astounding. More than 90% of those businesses are smaller businesses. And that's a really unique opportunity too, in that we train at Niagara College so that our students don't just have a single skill set. They have a wide variety of different skill sets, and they often really thrive in small businesses because they can at one moment be running a food safety program, the next moment being doing R&D, the next moment helping out with manufacturing and production. And because of that opportunity to join small businesses, they're able to jump into management and leadership roles quickly. Bakery is really big. Meat processing is also really big. And what's really great about our programs at Niagara is that we have a lot of alliances across our culinary and our food science programs, so that if you want to learn about baking, we've got some amazing baking experts who know baking inside and out through that program. Our culinary expertise is world renowned, and we train our food scientists so that they have exquisitely good food quality skills, so that they know what a delicious food tastes like. But then we can take it and put it into a box, maybe make it into a frozen meal and have it sold 1 million units. Ontario manufacturers are an important part of our agri-food industry. Niagara is a hotbed of the Canadian agri-food industry and has some of the I want to say some of the highest density of agri-food systems in place. And it is a huge money generator for the Ontario economy, with more than $42 billion in revenue annually. And honestly, I know right now with COVID, a lot of people are saying, well, where do we go to find those jobs that are going to be sustainable? Well, the food manufacturing sector has been on a growth curve during COVID. We need even more people than ever, because we realize that it's an essential workforce, and it is not just essential during COVID, but it's essential all the time. People need food. So jump ahead, Ian. So again, in Canada, it's about 250,000 Canadians, and most of them are in Ontario. Most of them are in the GTA, and most of them are in that Golden Horseshoe. We are seeing a rise in more and more food manufacturing in the Hamilton, Grimsby, Stony Creek area, which is very easily commutable from the Niagara region. And again, many of those jobs are excellent salaried roles. You're not looking at, I admit many times those first jobs are going to be hourly, but you quickly will transition into salaried type jobs. And our graduates typically are entering into technical management or technical skilled jobs. And I mentioned that the current employment chronic vacancy rate is around 29,000 workers. And if we use just a quick metric and say that, let's say 10% of those jobs are technical management, that's still close to 3,000 jobs that are currently sitting vacant in Canada for technical managers. Some of the projections are saying that we are looking at needing approximately 65,000 more workers by 2025. That's going to be when you're graduating. And honestly, that's a huge opportunity for you to enter into a growing and vitally important sector. Awesome. Thanks. Jump ahead. So there's us. I realized that this, you're maybe saying, wait a second, COVID, why are you all, well, you know what? We had been wearing masks and hairnets and everything since pre-COVID too. Hygiene is really important, but this is a photo of us in one of our microbiology labs. You can see me off in the bottom left corner there, but hands-on learning is so important to us. This is a pre-COVID photo, but we have had labs continuing during almost the entirety of the COVID period, other than a couple brief shutdowns. We are big on building community. We keep our course sizes small so that we can have a lot of hands-on practical labs, a lot of hands-on practical activities, a lot of course-based projects, so that you are learning in a really effective way so that you're ready to join the industry. So what do food scientists do on a daily basis? Well, many of our graduates are in product development roles. And so if you imagine all of those things that you see on the grocery store shelf, someone invented that. And they had a lot of project management skills, a lot of culinary skills, a lot of engineering skills to be able to think about, how do I make this food delicious? How do I make it so that it can stay on the shelf or in the freezer or in the fridge for a period of time? How do I make sure that I'm not going to make someone sick or kill someone, to be quite frank, through bacteria or viruses? How do we make sure that it's desirable so that people will buy it and buy it again? And that's a really important skill set, that it's not just someone made something and stuck it in a jar. There's a lot of different technical aspects behind this. Many of our graduates go into food safety management, and this is a huge growth area that companies are required under the Safe Food for Canadians regulation to have what's called a preventive control program. Every one of our graduates is certified to be able to design and manage those programs. And it's a huge opportunity. I know it maybe not as I want to say exciting as product development, but honestly, it's a hugely lucrative opportunity. And the food safety managers often make more money than the product developers. Many of our graduates go into manufacturing supervision and operations management. And honestly, the moment you walk into your first big food manufacturing factory, it's mind-boggling. It's very exciting to be in operations management. And it's also another opportunity where we've had students in the culinary innovation go into some of our business programs in operations management and supervision as well. Some of our grads go into packaging technology, others go into R&D, and we're really fortunate that Niagara College, back in 2011, we did a lot of leadership to build out what's called a Technology Access Center, and it's a nationally recognized research and development center, and it's now been in operation for more than 10 years. And many of our high achieving students end up working there on co-ops or in different research student positions during their studies. Some of our graduates go into technical sales, and honestly, you may be saying, well, I don't imagine being a salesperson. Well, we need people who have a product development mindset to know how to position that product and how to turn it into something valuable for the customer, being in a sales type role. And many of the food ingredient companies have salespeople who are food scientists. Last but not least, we have a lot of graduates going into food inspection and food auditing. We just had a couple graduates join the Canadian Food Inspection Agency as developmental inspectors, and it's a really unique opportunity to work for the Canadian government in food safety management systems. And we have successfully had graduates enter in these jobs. So what do food scientists and technologists do? I often joke that we're the ninjas behind the food industry. Very few people know about food scientists, but everybody is impacted by food scientists on a daily basis because of the meals that you eat at home. All right, next slide. Oh, there's a field trip pre-COVID, but right in the center is one of our wonderful faculty. That's Professor Sarvjit Bamra, and she is absolutely wonderful. She is a food safety expert in Canada. She was a former Canadian Food Inspection Agency federal auditor, and she leads many of our food safety classes. And rest assured, when it's normal time, we are constantly in the community. We are going on field trips. We are involved in projects. We have the industry coming into our classroom. Even during COVID, we've been able to manage a wide variety of different, what we call work integrated learning projects, where we've got industry partners actively taking a role with our classrooms. And they're on those conference calls and giving case studies for the students to work on. We thrive on practical, hands-on, real learning, but at a very, very high level. Our students take a lot of complex science courses, complex technology and engineering courses, alongside those traditional culinary courses too. So just a quick summary, it is a 3-year advanced diploma. It is 6 semesters plus a co-op. So it's technically total 7 semesters. And we do have a strategic mix of culinary skills because culinary is a really important part of food science. If you can't make a food product that's delicious, don't make a food product. You've got to be able to make it delicious so that you can repeat that sale over and over again. We blend a lot of science and technology. Our students will take courses in chemistry, in microbiology, in some process engineering. I get to teach one of those process engineering courses, and we do a lot of spreadsheets and a lot of math, but we try and make it very strategic so that if you haven't taken a lot of high school math, we do have some requirements for prerequisites, but at the same time, we try and do it in a really hands-on and approachable way so that if you've been saying, oh, I hate math, I can't do this. No, we can help you do it, but you've got to be willing to learn too. We do have a lot of courses in business and regulatory. So yeah, you will get a little bit of legal background as well, because if you're going to get into food safety management, there's a lot of laws involved. And of course, a bit of management skills as well. And again, you saw that list. It's a diverse option of different career pathways. Many times we have folks coming straight from high school, but in other cases, we do have people who are joining this program from other culinary pathways. We have a bridging pathway for people who have completed a culinary management program, and they will get advanced standing into second year into the core of our science programming. We actually got the POI approved, so Ian can nod.
Yeah.
But we also, in many cases, we have mature students joining the program who have a rich background, oftentimes in culinary, we've also had people who have joined us who have worked in general labor in food manufacturing and want to advance into those leadership type roles. So it is one of our most active programs for course integrated research partnerships. As I mentioned before, we have a research and innovation division that employs many of our top students. And it also is it's a conduit where we have so many different research partnerships that we bring into the classroom. So I think of some of the courses right now. I think I'm working with 5 different companies right now in different classes, which is really exciting that every student has the chance to engage with the industry and hear real stories about what's going on in the industry. So yeah, I keep alluding to this, but we are really big on this sort of cyclical partnership that our faculty are in many cases experts in their fields. We have a small but mighty faculty. We are we're very, very engaged with our students, and we pride ourselves on the fact that we build strong relationships to get to know what each student's strengths are and be able to guide them into a variety of different career opportunities. And we're constantly engaging with the industry. We're bringing them into the classroom, and we're taking the students out into the industry when COVID allows us to go on those field trips.
I think we're going to talk about some of the industry partners next, Amy, but in terms of the class sizes, I think I was something you could touch on in terms of what students could expect in terms of lab sizes and how many students together, that kind of thing.
Yeah, absolutely. So during our normal period, our class sizes for most of our labs are 24 people or less. And that is a point of pride for us, that we want to keep our classroom sizes small. And so in our food science labs and our food chemistry labs, we've never had more than 24 people. Now, they will have a few theory classes, and those theory classes may be slightly larger. But again, our theory classes in general are not greater than, I want to say 60 to 80 people. We again try and keep our class sizes small. That's a real point of pride that we have at Niagara. This is just a short list of some of the industry partners that we've taken into the classroom. And I want to let me pick one of these. I'm just thinking Provisions Food. That's a great little Niagara company run by Lori McDonald. And Lori reached out to our nutrition class a few years back, and she said, hey, we have some new products coming out and we need to understand how to do labeling review. Can we engage with the students in some way? And our students worked with Lori, and we worked in a quality circle type mindset where everyone was given a task, but then you had to pass your task off to another student and make sure that the student then could do a quality check on each other's work. And we were able to quickly review all of Lori's labels for compliance with the Canadian Food Inspection Agency and be able to release it. And our partnership with Provisions Food Company in Niagara has helped them grow from being a really small startup to now having their own facility, and they have products across Canada, and they're employing graduates of our program. The current quality assurance manager is a graduate of our program, and they've had a wide variety of different employees through the years. I'm just thinking of another good example. Yorkshire Valley Farm.
I'm sorry, I was noticing Black Angus there. Is that in the GTA? I think I've actually been there. Is that a GTA?
So Black Angus unfortunately folded.
Oh, they did.
I should update this slide deck.
No, that's okay. I'm sure you guys worked with them though.
We did work with them, and Black Angus was a really fun course-based project where we had the folks at Black Angus. Unfortunately, Black Angus succumbed from COVID. But they were working with a wide variety of different game meats, so deer, elk, and so on. They wanted to understand how they could position their products to food service better. And so they did a course challenge. The students were able to access the meat products, and they developed a wide variety of different products. And then we had a pitch competition where the students developed their concept, and we brought in a wide variety of different members of the industry from food service to see those concepts. We had all sorts of documentation on how to fabricate the product, cost of goods analysis, and so on. And it was a really exciting opportunity where it was a resume changer. They were able to say, yeah, we've got our concept in food service, and we're still in school. But yeah, we are, I bring up this slide because that aspect of, this is what's called Bloom's Two Sigma paradox. And the idea being, if you're in a conventional classroom and you have someone at the front just talking at you, yeah, you will succeed. But if you are able to go into applying your skills in a real world context, you're more likely to succeed. And if you are able to not only apply those skills, but have a really good mentorship role with the instructors and experts, then you're even more likely to succeed. And we really hone in on that, building environments where we're able to do mastery type learning. So applied learning with real context, real projects, and a lot of one-on-one mentorship. That is how we help people succeed as fast as possible in these programs. And I think of even in our first year program, I'm teaching a course in nutrition, and we were invited, our students were invited to present at a Health Canada conference. And I gave the folks at Health Canada an example of the assignment that they were doing, and they pushed back and they said, that's too hard. How do your students do that? I'm like, my students do it all the time because we really have mentored them in really high quality ways that they're able to achieve that. And it's not too hard because we support them, and we provide the instruction such that step by step approach, you're able to succeed really, really well.
Thanks, Amy.
There's our students doing some viscosity work. But again, we're so focused on getting into the labs and doing so much hands-on activity. And this is a chemistry class that I teach, and it's a chemistry class, but I also overlay a whole lot of problem solving. And every week the students are given a different problem. Oftentimes they're from our industry partners that we've had in the past, and we're able to either get full disclosure and say, hey, this industry partner had this challenge. How would you solve this problem? In other cases, we have instances where the industry partner says, you know what, I'm not quite capable of revealing all of the information about what I was doing. So if you can hide our identity, we'll go ahead and do that. And so oftentimes they make up imaginary companies, but we're constantly solving problems. We're constantly challenging people to step out of their comfort zones and try something new. There we are at Maple Leaf. So again, I can't stress this enough. During normal time, we are always balancing between our time in the classroom and how important it is for us to be getting really good foundational knowledge, and then going out and seeing how the industry applies that knowledge in person. So here we are at Maple Leaf with Darlene McDonald and Harry Cumming as their hosts, just seeing how they're doing R&D and how they're engaging with the sector. We have.
Is that the Maple Leaf in Mississauga? Is that the Maple Leaf facility in Mississauga?
Yes, this would be Financial Road in Mississauga.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're just so big on project-based learning. Here's an example. This is Kafeli and Amiko, and that opportunity when we were in a smaller classroom. Kafeli came to our program and he said, you know what, I have all of these complex allergies. I'm interested in the food industry. How do I combine my two interests? Well, we're small enough that we're able to do some customized learning outcomes. In this case, they're working on a project where they had to do a food product concept that had a nutritional basis. And Kafeli's goal was, I've never had poutine before and I'm a vegetarian. How do I make vegan poutine? And we did a trial of all the different vegan cheeses on a vegan poutine with a vegan gravy. And he was so excited because he's like, I've never had poutine in my life and this is delicious. But we were able to customize the learning outcome from the course so that he was able to pursue something that was really exciting for him, to challenge him and expand his horizons with how he would be working as a food product developer. And his interest in being able to develop products for people with allergy was something that we were capitalizing on. Oh, there we go. There's Gary. We met Gary at the beginning of the webinar. But again, I can't stress enough how important it is, as much as we're building that foundation of skills for being able to succeed in the industry, we're also really trying to build up a sense of community. And the food manufacturing sector in Canada is big, but it's small at the same time. Those of us who are in technical management are, we have built up a lot of really good relationships for our program. It just happens that we are members of Food Processing Skills Canada. So that is one of the largest sector councils that advocates for how food science and food manufacturing education occurs. We are members of the Canadian Institute of Food Science and Technology. And I just happen to be the current president of the Canadian Institute of Food Science and Technology. But even when I wasn't the president, we would be out at their networking events and engaging with all of the different experts in the field at their events, at their tabletops, at their conferences. We are members of Food and Beverage Ontario and Food and Beverage Canada, and we take great care to foster that relationship and use those relationships with industry to foster the growth of our students. And so it's really exciting when we're able to take our students out to these conferences and out to these networking events and engage in really good quality relationship building. Because as much as the food industry is all about food, it's also about people. And people are relationships. We've got to be able to trust one another and be encouraging one another and opening up opportunities for one another. And we take big pride in that here at Niagara. Oh, I wish we were here. Normally, when we have open house, we would have different students doing demonstrations for you. We've got here some photos of students working on some product development projects. On the right-hand side, often at the end of our semesters, we'll host trade shows or pitch competitions where our students will get up and they'll present. And it's, again, we put a lot of theory out there and then we expect people to jump. And it's just so exciting to see every semester how professional and how much maturity that the students are able to gain from that experience. We've got the students here. Oh, here we are at another. No, it was fine to flip it forward. Here we are at another trade show. This is one of the largest in Canada, called Cial, and the students are at a workshop on cocktail mixing. And I know that may sound really casual, but many of the different beverages that you are drinking in ready-to-drink formats were designed by food scientists. Just walking down the line, these are all graduates of our program right now. Nathan here is working at Dare Foods, and he's an R&D specialist in their cracker division. Kyler, who's the second there, he is working at Rich Food Products in Buffalo. Rachel is working at Collective Arts Brewery as their R&D coordinator. Jenna is working, she just got a new job last week. She is the sensory analysis coordinator for Yaya, which is a beverage manufacturer. Jenny, I spoke with on the phone yesterday, and she is currently in Calgary working in food safety management for Sobeys Canada. And Peter there, he is currently doing some work in private consulting for some wineries in the Niagara region. And you may be saying, wait a second, a lot of these folks are in the wine industry or in the beverage industry. Well, food science is a very complementary skill set to some of our other programs here at Niagara. And the food scientists have advanced skill sets in food safety management and project management that they're equally valuable to many of our beverage manufacturing sectors.
Amy, I think it's great. You just went through 6 students and they're obviously grads, but you know exactly where they're working, you know their names, I think that really speaks volumes to the connection. Like you said, it's a small group and you have connection to the students and that you stay connected with them after they graduate, which is fantastic.
I always joke that our core faculty is a bunch of we call ourselves the professor moms. And myself, Sabi, Sunan, well, we do have Keith Ellis as well, but yep. Honestly, we thrive as much on the technical delivery of our courses as much on the relationship building. And
that's great.
And again, there's social capital from that. We really want our students to succeed, and we make sure to put in a lot of effort so that we can open doors for them. And then eventually, what's really cool, Jenny called me yesterday. Jenny, the student second on the right, she called me from Calgary and she said, oh, well, do you have any graduates who would be interested? Because we may have some roles opening up at Sobeys in food safety management. And I'm like, wow, like that's the social capital that it pays forward, that we invest heavily in our students, but then eventually they turn around and they're the ones who are coming in as guest speakers. They're the ones who are now hiring more of our graduates. They're the ones who are hosting co-ops at their companies because they're able to catapult really, really quickly into those supervisory and management type roles. And we have really prided ourselves on that balance of really good technical skills, on really good practical problem solving, and that relationship aspect that we're constantly saying how important it is to remain connected, remain engaged, and be part of the broader community for the success of the whole food sector in Canada. Oh, here's the wall of cake day. Again, I could go through this entire wall of students and say where all of them are too. But this was one of my favorite days ever in all of my 10 years teaching at Niagara College, that we worked on a project with Rich Food Products, the company out of Buffalo that makes cake. And this was such a great example where they came and said, well, we want to understand, how do we get into the millennial and Gen Z marketplace? Well, we turned it into a big activity, and everyone was given a role to play in this big team. And we designed close to 400 concepts of cake. And then we prioritized those and we put them up on the wall, and we started putting stickers all over them. And honestly, it was such a fantastic opportunity where the industry was in there and everyone was really, really involved, and everyone in this space is just thriving. So where are grads working? Just a quick, some of these names of companies you might not recognize, and others are like big national brands. Food product development, we have folks at Puratos, Arista. Puratos is a bakery company. Arista makes a lot of par-baked products. So if you've ever had a donut at Tim Hortons, it possibly came from Arista, or an Oak Run Bakery English muffin, that is also Arista, and that's in Ancaster. And they've also got a facility in Brantford. Maple Leaf obviously has got facilities all over the country. McCain Foods, Dare Foods, Kraft, and so on. Food safety management. This is such an important role to play. Again, I can't stress enough how food safety is really, really critical to everything that we do. And oftentimes we get students in there saying, well, I don't want to be a food safety manager. Well, if you want to be in R&D, learn food safety. You want to be in grocery corporate, learn food safety. Yeah, we do have folks at grocery corporate. So Loblaws and Sobeys have taken our grads. Quality assurance and quality control have been other opportunities. Many times our students have joined entrepreneurial companies, and in many cases, small businesses. And in a couple of instances, we've actually had students start their own small entrepreneurship startups. Pet foods, another spinoff where students have amazing skills in food safety and quality assurance, and it's well aligned with being in the pet food industry, along with cannabis and beverage manufacturing as well. Now, I am a big one, and I do want you to strongly take a look at the program in culinary innovation, but at the same time, I want to always make sure that people are coming into the right fit program. And the food manufacturing sector there's so many opportunities. And so if food manufacturing is exciting for you, but you're sitting there going, well, I'm not really sure, I want you to strongly think about the fact that there's so many career opportunities. And at Niagara College, we are Canada's food college, where we have invested so heavily in a wide variety of different programs that can take you into food manufacturing. So for example, we do have our cannabis postgraduate certificate, and many of our graduates from the innovation program have gone on to take the cannabis certificate. It is a postgraduate certificate, so you do have to have completed a diploma or a degree from another institution, or at Niagara College, of course. We do have our wine, beer, and distillation programs, and again, those are really awesome, very focused aspects of food manufacturing and food science. Robotics and advanced automation, that's a huge growth area for food industries. And we are seeing so many of the larger manufacturers taking on these skill sets, and that's going to be at our Welland campus. We do have programs in supply chain and operations management, and we have had graduates from innovation go on to that as well. Business and marketing, honestly, we are a great school for that, and that's not a bad way to get your foot in the industry and have a wide variety of different skill sets. And I can't stress this enough, the food manufacturing industry is really, really, really hungry for folks who have skilled trades backgrounds. And we do have some amazing trades programs at Niagara College. Obviously, many people are on the fence between our culinary management or culinary skills program and the culinary innovation program. What I do say is that the innovation program is a bit harder because we do have a few more courses in our program of instruction, but it will take you so many other places. I didn't address very well how many of our graduates end up going back to the food service sector, but not in the restaurant roles. They're going to corporate. So they might end up in the corporate offices of like Cara Foods, or at the corporate offices of, I'm just thinking, Restaurant Brands International. We've been trying to position some grads there, where their skills in culinary, along with their technical management skills, are really desirable. And that will take them out of the restaurant and into the corporate setting, where you've got a salaried job and a little bit more job stability. So again, the folks at recruiting are fantastic and have been so good to redirect any questions that are coming about this program to me. I am always encouraging people to reach out to me and ask questions as they're going along. I can't stress enough how it's an exciting field to be in. There's constant changes. There's so much growth opportunity, and the careers are endless in Canada. I'm looking at this photo. We've got Donna there. She's currently working in product development at Give and Go Bakery in Toronto. We've got Erin, and she is at Nuts for Cheese in London, Ontario. John, he actually joined a startup company called Holy Veggie, and he is now, he's taken that company from complete startup to it now being a multinational brand, and he is the director of sales for Western North America. Tori there, she is an R&D specialist working at a cannabis company called Molecule, and Tommy is actually in sales for Vineland Estates Winery. And he went on to do additional studies in wine business management at Niagara College. Again, I can't say enough about how exciting it has been to lead this program for the past 10 years. And I look forward to hopefully inviting you to participate in some of our community and learn with us at Niagara College.
Thank you very much, Amy. That's great.